Like everyone else, you love good news, don't you? The news that you're about to have your first baby and that you have been promoted at work. Perhaps everyone's favorite, the news that say, I don't get a lot. But good news comes now and then, not necessarily as frequent as we want. Except for the transportation in Lagos State and the work of the Lagos State government on it through Lamata. After bringing you a series of the developments that the Lagos transportation has enjoyed of late, we have more great news. As work finalizes on the Lagos Blue Line Rail Transit Project, which runs from Okokomaiko to Marina, Lagos State has kick-started the process to commence the second line, the Red Line, which runs all the way from Lagos into Ogun State. I am Obafemi Craig. First, we take the news highlights. Thank you for joining us on the news highlight on Lamata FR. In its tradition of promoting stakeholder engagement and the enlightenment of the public on the state government public transport agenda, the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority Lamata has commenced the broadcast of a weekly radio program tagged Lamata 360 Degrees. The radio program will be live every Tuesday on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM between 8:15 a.m. and 9 a.m. According to the Managing Director of Lamata, Dr. Dayo Mobereola, the program is aimed at engaging members of the public on the public transport initiatives and activities of the Lagos State government through Lamata. Dr. Mobereola noted that citizens should not relent in showing interest in government policies and programs as a way of ensuring accountability and the delivery of good public service that will continue to impact their well-being. He said Lamata will continue to avail the public critical developmental information on the plans of the state government in delivering a truly functional and effective multimodal integrated public transport system that will support the status of the state as a mega city and center of excellence. The program will also be used to give updates on Lamata's activities and projects, as well as aggregate public opinion and perception on the projects. And that ends the news highlights.
Basically, what Lamata does is to coordinate public transportation in Lagos State, and we came up with a transport master plan.
Developed together with the World Bank, the objective of this plan is finding long-lasting solutions for the problem of transportation in Lagos. Currently under its first steps of development, the plan has already proven itself a big success, dramatically increasing the connectivity in a city in continuous expansion and enjoying an unparalleled demographic and economic growth.
Our responsibility is to ensure that we provide the necessary infrastructure to meet the growth, to improve the quality of life, to improve the standard of living, and to make Lagos a vibrant and livable city in years to come.
Lamata, keeping Lagos moving. Our research showed that there are over 10.5 million public passenger trips across the city of Lagos every day. And by 2030, the figure rises to 19.2 million public passenger trips. Lamata cannot wait till then to meet the transportation needs of the people. It is from this moment we must create alternatives of sea and rail to complement road travel. And already we are moving. As we move to finish work in the second phase of the Blue Line between National Theatre and Marina, the rail service that will run from Okokomaiko to Marina, we are set to start work on the Red Line, the rail service that will run from Agbado in Ogun State to Ido in Lagos. Imagine the possibilities. What moves have been made to commence the Red Line? Who are the stakeholders? And when is the project expected to be completed and ready to serve you? Here is the main feature to walk you through the history of the project and reason for its inception in the first place. One of the proposed interventions in solving the transportation challenges of the people living in the areas of Lagos bordering Ogun State by the Lagos State government is the designing of the Redline rail project, which is expected to move more than 1.8 million passengers daily. The Redline rail project is one of the 6 rail lines and a monorail proposed in the Strategic Transport Master Plan for Lagos to integrate with 14 bus rapid transit BRT systems, ferry services, and several road improvements projects to make Lagos the ideal megacity. By its design, Strategic Transport Master Plan is aimed at delivering a multimodal integrated transport system for the Lagos megacity. The S8Ep itself has different components. The Lagos Rail Mass Transit LRMT network is one of the components. The Lagos Rail Mass Transit is a network of urban rail-based systems covering major corridors of high commuter traffic demand within and beyond the metropolitan Lagos, extending to borders areas with states like Ogun and Oyo. The rail network is designed to link the major population and activity centers in the state, as well as take advantage, where possible, of existing transport corridors. Recently, the federal government ceded and handed over the right-of-way of the existing Nigerian railway corridor for the Lagos State government to implement the Redline rail project on the 30 meters wide rail corridor. Besides the 27-kilometer Blue Line rail, which is currently being developed along Okukomaiko to Marina, the Red Line is a 37-kilometer railroad that will run from Agbado with stops at Iju, Agege, Ikeja, Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Oshodi, Mushin, Yaba, Ebute Metta, Ido, Ebuteru, and Marina on standard gauge. The Red Line will move about 1.8 million passengers daily, reducing drastically congestion within the various corridors linking the mainland to Marina. The project, which will be implemented under a public-private partnership arrangement, will complement the Blue Line to boost the socio-economic and environmental well-being of Lagos and its population through creation of employment, reduction of traffic congestion, improvement of traffic safety, increased traffic efficiency, as well as reduction in pollution and its attendant diseases. With the recent signing and ceding of right-of-way by the federal government for the implementation of the project, Lamata is indeed on the verge of delivering another landmark transport project that will truly keep Lagos moving. The Managing Director of Lamata, Dr. Dayo Mobereola, is excited about the project and opted to be one who answers these questions and others regarding the Redline Mass Rail Transit project. Join us as we speak with him.
Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best.
Well, it's a good news when it came that the federal government ceded and handed over the right-of-way for the Red Line rail project to the Lagos State government. And one of the agency of governments who are responsible to really oversee this project is the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata. And in this concern, we set to really have this special time out with the helmsman to really give us details as to how this is going to affect the good people of Lagos State. It is on this note I want to say welcome to this special time out with the Chief Executive Officer, Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Dr. Anthony Ekundayo Mobereola. It's a pleasure having you on this program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, it came as a good news, like I said, that the federal government ceded and hand over the right of way of the Redline rail project that's from Edo to Agbado to the Lagos state government. What is the significance of this action by the federal government?
Well, this action has actually been long overdue. We started this process as far back as 2007, and the reason being that we have realized from a very long time that we need a rail mass transit, urban rail mass transit, to move people between Lagos Island and then to the mainland. And majorly, when there is an existing corridor, that we can share that corridor so that we can even start with that. Because the solution to public transport is to meet the needs of today and also to anticipate and prepare for the growth that was going to come. And quickly we recognize that the right-of-way that the federal government has, that is to Edo to Agbado, has not been totally fully utilized, and we can use some of that to be moving people from Agbado to Edo, and then build a rail connection from Edo to Lagos Island. As you and I know, majority of the people are living on the mainland and they are working on the island. Exactly. So we need a mass transportation system to take them onto the island, rather than driving cars, going on buses and everything. So that is the reasons why we engaged the federal government to cede half of the corridor from Edo to Agbado to Lagos State for us to build an urban rail mass transit that will move, that is going to be fast, efficient, and people can travel at comfort. And then Lagos State would have initiated building a crossing, a rail crossing from Edo to CMS in order for this train to run smoothly and carry millions of people on a daily basis.
Now, what then is the impact of this action on the state strategic master plan?
Again, is going back to the fact that the state initiated a transport master plan as far back as 2004, and then we realized that in that transport master plan, we would there are 22 million trips per day, people moving around Lagos. Of that 22 million trips, 40% of them are actually walking. The remaining 60% are actually using motorized means of transport. And out of that 60% that are actually using motorized means of transport, 80% of that are actually using their own private cars, which is actually abnormal. People would rather use public transport if it's comfortable, if it's reliable, if it's safe, because when you use your private cars, now your private cars is a capital intensive, and then you take a space that could have been taken by 15, 16, 20, 22 people on the road. And then we have a limited road network. So the economics is not just working. So that is why we thought that, yes, we need to go back to making use of public transport. And public transport, when you have a very good public transport system, it makes the city vibrant, it makes the city efficient, it makes increased productivity. And when I say increased productivity, people do not need to wake up at 5 o'clock, get on the road at 5:30, get to their offices at 8 o'clock. By the time, that's already 3 hours wasted. And then you are going to be less productive. You know? and then you leave your office at 5, you'll be getting home at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Then that time you are supposed to have spent with your children to learn what they have done in school, and learn about help them with their own homework, nurture them to be good children. All of that is lost on the road.
But what are the other benefits aside what you have said of this project to the people and the state?
Economically, number one, it will reduce the cost of traveling. So that's number one. Then number two, I've also spoken about the reduction in travel time.
Exactly.
Then number three is the fact that a train system, when it works very well and efficiently, you now don't have to leave your house. If you want to take a train at 7:30 and your house is maybe 15 minutes to the train station, then you don't have to leave your house at 4 o'clock. You leave your house at 7:15 and get the train at 7:30.
Right.
And then the train will take you
to
your destination. So you've spent time with your family, you probably had breakfast at home, you've taken care of the children, you've dressed them up, you've checked their homework, those are the part of values that have been missing when you put a lot of cars on the road. Number one, the energy of driving cars, the stress of driving cars, the pollution of driving cars causes a lot of health hazard. I don't know whether you are aware of these United Nations analysis that the lifespan of
an average Nigerian is 40-50.
40-50. When you don't stress yourself, then you increase your lifespan. Life is stressful. Life is enjoyable. Life is interesting.
Life is good.
Life is good.
And it's sweet.
Life is sweet. So that in itself it tells a lot in terms of the social aspect of it.
When, for example, should a citizen expect the construction of the Blue Line to commence, and when is the likely completion timeline? This is one good news they want to hear from you, sir.
Well, I will not shy away from your question, but I will take you to a historical perspective. And let me start by giving you some good examples. India, Delhi Metro, spent 22 years in constructing one rail line.
22 years.
22 years. Chile, in Latin America, spent 20 years in constructing one straight line, right? We are building 27 kilometers of Blue Line from Okokomaiko to CMS, right? Now, even before I tell you that, Dubai spent 7.5 years, and even at that, they did not start their all 16 lines in one day. They were doing it gradually. So what I'm trying to say is that rail construction and development is a gradual process.
Okay.
Right. Is this infrastructure that lasts over 100 years? So you need to get it right. Your planning needs to be fantastic. It has to be exemptionary. So you need to get it right, because you need to put it at where people are using it at the moment and where the development is going to take place. And therefore you need a lot of studies to ensure that you get that right. And then when you now start putting those infrastructure in place, you are going to ensure that the quality of that infrastructure is such that when they are built, they are going to be very, very safe.
Well, we want to thank you very sincerely for this time. We just must take this last one before we go. We under the STMP.
Yes.
There are other rail lines.
Indeed.
When will the government focus on the 4 other lines and the monorail projects? I'm sure they also want to hear this from you, sir.
What we are going to do in Lagos is create, as a government, create the enabling environment. Come out with good regulations, good laws, bold, and make it accessible. And then we open it to the public. And if you have the capacity, we set up the criteria that for you to want to run buses in Lagos, these are the terms and conditions for you to run buses. If you want to go into rail business, these are the terms and conditions to go into it. If you want to run water transportation, these are the conditions, terms and conditions. And you make it free for everybody. And then people would come into it. But majorly, the driving force of all of this is that all of them must be integrated. They must be able to connect.
Well, we've been speaking with Dr. Dayo Mobereola, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of the Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Lamata. We thank you once again, sir, for the time with you.
Thank you very
much. We'll be right
much.
back after this time out.
Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best.
I'm certain that this episode will open a floodgate of questions and comments. But we have to wait for those because you already sent some important messages this week. Have a look. Coming from David Ojomo, you posted saying, the Agege Motor Road at Mushin-Olosha needs urgent rehabilitation. And there's this other one coming from Bamidele Ojo who posted saying, what is Lamata doing about our Ipaja-Yobo road that has been abandoned since last year, most especially at Besson Gate Point? It needs to be attended to because of heavy commuters that use this route daily. Please help speak to the new government in Lagos State to complete this road. God bless you all. Thank you, David and Bamidele. The Lagos State government is committed to ensure that all roads in Lagos are in motorable state all year round, and be rest assured that all projects started by the Lagos State government will be completed. The secret to make us serve you better? Keep sending your questions, comments, and remarks to any of the following. Thank you for joining us today. We started off today's show by saying that Lamata always brings good news as far as transportation in Lagos is concerned. But without your partnership, that won't be the case. As Cases Tingle said, getting good players is the easy part, but making them work together is the challenge. Always remember, we can only do this with your cooperation. I'm Obafemi Craig, Lamata, keeping Lagos moving.
Eko Akete, Lagos, my home. With Lamata, Lagos is changing for the best. BRT lanes, modern rail lines, pedestrian